Hello, hello, people. Welcome and happy Maha. Well, I don't know if it's Maha, but anyway, it's Shiva Ratri. I'm not sure how it works with the Maha and the Shiva Ratri, but I do know that it is Shiva Ratri, and that is the celebration of Lord Shiva from the ancient Vedic spirituality, which is our most ancient, perhaps, religion on the earth. Definitely one of them. And, people say it's where all the other ones came from, a source of knowledge and inspiration and connection to our divine nature. And I have to speak about the word nature in connection with ancient religion. For example, in Egypt, the ancient gods and goddesses are called netters, and that sounds a lot like nature. And so that's the message of remembering that I'm here to share, that we are nature, we are sacred and divine. I'm gonna put the light on. Forget about this sometimes. You can see me better while I'm doing the live stream. I'm gonna hold up here in Montenegro, the Black Mountain. That's the name of the country, or Chernagora, as it's said in the local language. And hopefully I'm coming through all right. And hopefully some people will come through for the roundtable talk. Otherwise, it'll be like last week, which was a transmission from me to viewers. We're broadcasting on YouTube, but people are welcome to click the Zoom link, which I've posted in the comments on the YouTube. It's also posted various other places, like on the Law of the Earth Facebook page and my Law of the Earth Telegram channel. And these are the places where I'm sharing this message that we are the living law of the earth, the expanding, co-creative authority of creation in this realm, this beautiful place that we call home. And I've sent out a link. I've sent out an email, another place that we have this link welcoming people to a round table to integrate this awareness, this consciousness that we are one with nature, that we have the inherent ability, the inherent tendency to be a blessing in alignment with the benevolent nature of the soul, of our divine presence, of who we truly are, of the source. And that's a shout out to the source, my friend Doron, or Doran. You always have an option how to say his name. And I'm going to share a little video that he made for this group. That'll be actually a great thing to kick us off with. And hopefully, um, afterwards, we'll get some people coming in and join the discussion here. So I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna share that video. Shout out to Doron for making it, and he's sharing lots of good vibes, as you'll see, from the beautiful island of Maui, the ancient Lemuria. Okay, hold on. I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to come to Doran's message, which he sent. Yeah, so you should see my screen. And here he is with his video. Let's click on it so we'll get full screen. And gotta have sound. The sound is the best part.
We're in here, Maui, Hawaii. I
Yeah.
wanted to be on Mr. Keegan's Aquarian Roundtable.
Stop calling me
badly,
Mister,
but
man.
I am working. I'm working distributing local produce, Maui, Hawaii. Keegan and I actually worked together here at the same company, and he brought me to this company, actually. Keegan's doing awesome work, traveling the world, being the change maker that he is, phenomenal young man. My brother from another.
Give him a like.
How are you, everybody? I'm so glad that we're all on mission to bring in a better world. Keegan is a great example. I appreciate all of y'all. Look forward to connecting with y'all in person. Well, in person or at least on one of these calls soon, one of these roundtables soon, something, some way, somehow. Love y'all. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Aloha.
Got to catch the ride and the dance part at the end. Go, Mr. President. That's my nickname for Doran. Hey, because he used to have a post all the time. I am the president, and so are you. Go, Mr. President. Busting a move.
Years left behind in this garden we call home,
Hey,
where hearts can roam.
all right.
Aloha,
Aloha, and it starts over.
the source. My name is Doran here, Maui, Hawaii. I want
We're
to
gonna
be
we're gonna
on
X out.
Mr. Keith.
Much love to Doran. Thank you for sharing that shout out. If you guys need some more of the good vibrations from the land of Maui and the land of Doran, I welcome you to check out his channel and tune into them. Hopefully the sound came through all right. I got a little pop-up on Zoom here that said, "Are you playing music?" Help set up professional audio. Um, Probably, yeah, it probably didn't sound as good for you as it did for me because I'm playing it right here on my computer and it was probably coming through this little microphone for you. But we'll figure it out. We're living and learning and not just living. Although it may seem like it sometimes. Stuck in a loop, feeling the spiral pattern of coming back and into the same routine. That's why I had to leave. I mean, that's one of the reasons. I had to actually leave that job working with Doron on Maui, which was amazing and is amazing. He's still doing that ex amazing experience. Oh, here comes Harlan. Great. Um, Hi, Harlan. Welcome. It's his name.
What's going
And
on? Just you and me again?
wow, you got an
Gee,
epic city.
I just came from a design science studio Zoom call. We had at least we had four people on that one. Went really well.
Nice, nice.
I just figured I saw it's happening, so I was able to jump on. And
Welcome back.
your emails are pretty cool, but they don't make it really clear. Like Wednesday, Aquarian Roundtable. Your email just says, what is it? Land, your earthly estate.
Oh, you
It's
mean in the title. That's right. You have to take that feedback from last time and keep implementing it. Sorry,
Yeah,
I
I
forgot.
guess. And
Yeah,
I don't
and
know how many people you send it out to and who you got, but that's okay.
I
You're
got
doing your
48
best.
people now, and little by little, getting more. I've
And
got the
are you still at that same place there in whatever country that was?
Montenegro.
Yeah.
Now I've moved to my own apartment. I'm renting a place for a year.
Oh, in Montenegro or where?
Yeah, in Montenegro.
In that same peninsula area?
No, I'm south now in the city of Bar.
Okay.
And yeah, the reason is because there's this interesting uh, community here. It's a movement of freedom-minded people, mostly Russians. It's called
Oh, cool.
Montenegro. Yeah.
And it's interesting. Montenegro is that means Black Mountain, of course. I don't know in what language, but kind of like a Spanish, Latin kind of language, right? But
Right.
where
But
you are
that's
is a
that's
more
not what they
Slavic
call it
or
here, right?
what?
Here that it's called Chernigora.
Oh. Oh, the English name is Montenegro, and in North Carolina was the Black Mountain College, where like John Cage and Buckminster Fuller and all these people in the 50s were teaching. It's still, I don't know if it's still there, but Black Mountain. Also,
Mm.
Black Mountain, I think is anyway Montenegro. And they call it what? What is the language there? It's kind of like a Greek Slavic kind of language, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically Serbian language that's
Serbian, yeah,
spoken in Bosnia, in Croatia,
Serbian.
in Montenegro. Although some people like they reject calling it Serbian. And there's dialects, the different dialects. So there's the
Yeah, I can
Croatian dialect.
imagine. I mean, that whole region has so many different countries, and they can't all have their own language, I think. I
I
have
think
no
every
idea.
person has their own language.
Well, no, I mean, and especially it's weird how English is a very global language. Like, I have a friend from Slovenia, but she does, and another friend from Romania, and they all do their stuff in English, to be accessible.
Hmm. You
So,
just missed, I played a video for my friend Doran, who's working right now. But he
oh,
shared a little shout out from his channel. He's out on Maui. We used to work together at this produce distribution, uh, local produce distribution warehouse. And yeah, he made a sweet little video saying what's up and blessing us. So uh,
oh, he
that was
just sent
awesome.
it as a pre-recorded video.
Yeah, yeah. And
Well, that's really interesting. I just noticed that my portal to the new earth is backwards on this screen in this image. I have the same image without portal to the new earth up there. And
it
is it
doesn't
my
look backwards to me. But it is.
oh,
I don't see the PORT or the A.
it, right,
I see,
it's cut off over there. Yeah, yeah, I see that. I see it's not there.
but that's an epic looking city.
Yeah. Right? That's Chat GPT. And I struggled to get it to generate that, and that's the best I could do. And when I try to do more, it just got worse. And I'm quite happy with that vision. But I'm now debating, and I should just do it because it's $10 a month, moving to Midjourney to do some, uh, graphics of my city designs.
Yeah.
Because, but it's not like I want to. I don't know. The whole relationship with AI is interesting in that I was working with someone that like set up a Chat GPT AI to be like my business and life coach and everything, and then I've never been able to use it. Like I barely used it, barely scratched the surface, and I haven't gone back to it. And that was like over a month ago, 2 months ago.
It's so funny. I got a virtual assistant recently, and the name she goes by is Reggie.
And
It,
did you choose that name, or did you? It came with
huh?
that name. Did you
That
choose the name?
No, no, no. Like this is a real human being. And
Oh.
she's in the
Oh, she's a real
Philippines.
human being.
Yeah, and she goes by the name Reggie. And today I was writing her name to access a shared Google Drive that we have. So I was typing it into my browser, and then a thing came up that said, "Get an AI assistant," and it's called Reggie. It's like that's a coincidence. That's crazy.
So I worked with this guy that's his idea. He's kind of like an AI coach. And what he does is he helps people program a chat GPT AI to become their virtual assistants. And his whole focus, and the reason why I jumped on it and paid him like a few $100s to help me do this, is because his whole focus with AI is that it's out of love. It's all about love. Like you love your AI, the AI loves you. Its overarching essence of the focus of working with AI is through love,
Mm,
and not fear and not that it's going to just take over the world. Like you love, like AI loves us, it loves you, you love it, and it's just working to help you, in a most loving possible way. But like I say, I did it thinking like I better jump on this AI thing, before it's too late. And then I've been completely unable, and I kind of almost knew before I did it that I'd have this issue, and I
mm.
really have the issue, and I'm not really using it. I mean, at all. I haven't touched it in over a month. And the last prompts I did to it was saying, I'm really having problems wanting to work with you. And, how can I work with you in a way that will make me want to work with you because I'm not wanting to work with you? And it comes back with like answers saying, okay, just step back, just do one little thing, like it tries to, make it accessible.
Mm,
But now, like I say, and ChatGPT can do this, but Midjourney is an AI program that's really designed for generating images. So I just pulled up the website, but I haven't paid it's either $10 a month or $96 a year. So
mm.
I figure might as well just start with one $10 a month, see if I like it. And if I really want to use it, go for a year subscription, or if I just want to use it a little bit, just use it and then stop. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
It's good to experiment with the different ones. And I mean, with the designs, like I know like I follow Losha Linoff, the BioVeda Academy for Bioarchitecture. And he's
Oh wait,
been
who is that? I wanna look that up. Or you want to put it in the chat, or should I just search it?
sure, I can put it in the chat. It's bioveda.co. Oops, here, I'll
Oh,
make it so
it
it's a
didn't.
link. Um, and yeah, I mean, I can actually share my screen and take a look at this stuff because it's really
Okay,
cool.
well I just opened it here on my screen. So either
Uh-huh.
way,
Yeah, but I mean, we are also
doing.
on
Why is it?
um we're also on YouTube, right? So wait, let's see. Now
Yeah,
that
I
I've
see your screen.
okay, where
I
did
never,
I
I didn't know about this person or this website at all. Are they Russian? Because I see some Russian
right,
stuff.
he's in Russia and he's Russian, but he built okay, now you can see his website.
Yeah,
he
I
he
got it.
he's been doing experiments, like you're saying you're experimenting with the different like ways to design a visual. He's been actually designing the things and building them. Like this is built at the one that you see in the video is built at a huge eco community in Siberia. Uh, and he ended up kind of just donating it to the community because he didn't end up want to live there. But it's an experiment, and he's learning and developing. And he actually made this amazing permaculture center in um, in South Africa, where he lives.
Wow, I definitely have to connect. So I'm on. I got the website up, and well, sorry to interrupt. Keep going. I'm really bad like that.
No worries. He's got this design for and actually so I went to summer before last, I went to Tennessee to help start the Haven Village Trade School for building with hemp. And so Paul River Richardson is the one of the founders there. And he said that he did this drawing, basically I guess they worked it on it together. Or he did this drawing while he was working together with Elocia. And so now Alosha is using it to kind of bring forward. And he's got Arcosanti right there. And,
Yeah, yeah. I've been working closely with Arcosanti, and then Sasha Stone just came here. Do you know who Sasha Stone is and what he's doing?
yeah, the last I've seen of him was he's doing health supplements and a Gorilla News Network. Um,
And more than that, just bought land in Tennessee to start a new Earth Nation in Tennessee.
wow,
And he's selling these $10,000 golden tickets to people to have access to buy property and buy in and live and work there. They want to make it a working.
that's epic. I didn't know.
And then also, I've been fully connected with this incredible woman uh, who lives in Russia, and her website is epic. I just put it in the chat for you to look at, and I
Okay.
need to connect her with him if they're not connected, but she is quite connected. And so, and we've met several times in person through Zooms, and we stay in touch. But if you pull up Recreating Shambhala, each page there's like a dozen, there's like half a dozen or more, like 10 different pages with all of the work that she's doing. I don't mean to cut you off from this, but I've got his website, and if you want to actually
Just
continue to
I'm just
talk
trying
and
to
tell me
figure
how,
out.
yeah, go ahead and talk to me how you met this guy, how you're connected, and more about what you know about his stuff, because that was really fascinating.
Well, okay, I'm just trying to figure out how I can go to the chat when I'm sharing my screen. I never did
Oh, you
that.
should be. It should be at the
Oh,
bottom of
it's
your.
at the top. Now I found
Oh,
it.
right. Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah,
Okay, that was disorienting, but here, oh wait, now I've maximized the chat. Okay, Shambhala. But yeah, like you're asking about how I connected with Elosha. In
yeah.
2018, he came out with a dome building course, like how to build domes from uh rammed earth bags and how to build domes with aircrete bricks. And so I went through that
And where
course.
was that?
It was an online course.
Oh, right. And
The
he
domes
lives
that he
in,
built were in South Africa at this really cool center, but he eventually abandoned it because it was like too dangerous there, basically.
wow.
Yeah. And then now he's engaged with people in Russia to build an eco city. And yeah, it seems really, really cool. Like they have a good thing going on. And and he
Yeah.
just announced that he's going to do an in-person thing. I think it was this morning I saw an email from him. He said in May or June we'll do another in-person bioconstructions workshop in Russia. And
Cool.
and so this woman is in Russia that you're showing me this
Yes,
website.
yes, she is. Yeah, yeah. She's down in the southern part to avoid winter. So by the Black Sea or something like that. And then, we're very closely connected. We've been talking and meeting somewhat regularly, and she's amazing what she's doing. And if you look, at her website, I mean, each page is huge. You click on each page and you scroll, and she's doing all this stuff and she's trying to connect. And I guess her main focus would be to try to.
Uh-oh. He froze up. Are you still there? You got frozen. But I imagine what you were
Page
gonna say.
and look at the menu. If you go, scroll back up to the top. Oh,
All
can you
right.
hear me? I dropped
You
out for a
you
second.
froze for a minute, but now you're
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, so yeah, you'll see. So you see at the top there's different things, and which is I don't know, which was it? What the
Architect, I
sanctuary?
see.
Architect, there's sanctuary, New Earth, retreats. I don't know. She hosts retreats. So each one, the one, let's see, am I frozen again? No, you can still hear
No,
me.
yeah.
Let me just tell you which
I feel
one.
most drawn to Divine Orchestra,
Yeah.
an educational documentary series. Nice. Yeah, so
Red.
she's doing some nice video generation image generation as well. Looks
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Well, no, she collects the images.
Uh-oh, yeah, you keep freezing. Becomes educational documents, inserts of Shambhala. Hmm. I don't know
Each
when.
of those links at the top are ponderously huge with lots of links to videos and information and things that she's doing. But she's quite articulate. She has a PhD. She has 5 degrees, culminating in a PhD. So she spent years and years in university, becoming articulate and, very adept at, communicating, right? But she
Hmm.
also spent years and years meditating. She's a total like, you know, and like she hardly eats any food. She's very high level, meditator. I forget what the word, adept on that level too.
Hmm.
She's very, very, conscious and adept at, on working on ascension physically in her body of, being, yeah, she's really interesting.
Yes, and embodiment of our divine
Yeah.
essence. That's uh, that's what I wrote in the email leading up to this,
And like
about
if
the
you,
land, and that's what like my teacher Christoph Melchizedek always talks about. Like it's not about ascension, isn't about us going out somewhere. It's about bringing more of who we are into this material realm, into this body experience, and onto the land, right? To
and so
express
funny.
heart gardens, to create gardens of heavenly delight on the earth.
And just where you just froze, the last sentence of the first section, for the consciousness of the planet Earth, everything she writes, she's just so on point in communicating,
Mm.
this work. And so I'm really, glad to be connected with her. I feel, yeah, I don't know what our overlap is, but we definitely have a lot of overlap, and I'm happy to be connected with her and just connecting more and more people. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, Alosha's made some videos like Russia is heaven and like, welcoming people to come there and stuff. And then I hear quite different perspectives from people here in Montenegro who are kind of like uh they had to flee because they were expressing free speech, which isn't allowed in some aspects in Russia, and so they had to leave. That's the way I understand it anyway. Uh, I actually met this on Friday. I met this guy who rode his bicycle around every continent, and he's Russian, and he's well, not every continent. He didn't ride around Australia, and he didn't ride around Antarctica, but every other continent he rode his bike around like the whole thing. It was 169,000 kilometers in total that he did over 21 years. And yeah, he's actually my neighbor. He lives like 5 minute walk from my house here. And, and he did portraits. And yeah, but he's kind of like, yeah, he said he can't go back to Russia at this point, for whatever political reasons. I didn't get the story out of him, but I will because he's my neighbor and we're both in the same circle. I'm gonna start going weekly to this breakfast, and they were all excited because I'm an English speaker and they want to kind of like bring more of the international community into their Russian speaking group of people that are here that are freedom minded and want to build alternative economy and help people become their own bankers and um, organize to create freedom in society. And they have some interesting projects. I was invited to uh, a discussion to plan like a Burning Man-esque festival in Czech Republic.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so I'll go on Friday evening, I think, to that. But it's
Cool.
tricky because it's Russian speakers. So like if I want to understand like somebody's giving a dissertation or whatever, then I'll have to like bring my little translator and like device to try to understand what all they're talking about. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah, cool.
Hmm.
Oh, it's funny because I know, we you put this directly live to YouTube and it ends up being a YouTube video, right? So everything we're talking about, people down the line can always reference or share, or even people could be watching it live and not here on the Zoom. So that's interesting. So what I might as well, and you always ask me to share stuff. So let me see. Do I have? Okay, let me put in here just to relate to what I'm up to. I'm going to, well, it's funny though, because if I put it in here, even you put it in the chat, I'll share it with you, but it doesn't really show up in the YouTube. People can look it up though. It's regenworld.net. And that's in Austin, Texas, March 8th to 15th, a conference which I'm going to head to be presenting at as part of that. And then on March 22nd, I'm going to be doing this transition talks in West Virginia, which is also accessible online, or, obviously they'll do this in-person thing. So I'm really excited to have been invited to do that. So that's coming up. And um, yeah,
Is
those are
that when you said it's in Florida?
the Regen World is in Austin, Texas.
Ah. Oh, you already went to one in Florida.
No, what was in Florida?
I don't know. I thought you said I was reading something from you in
I
recent.
went just to visit my family in Florida. There was no event there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I was going to mention you're talking about AI. There's a friend in Florida that they're building a community. It's called, is it Sasquatch, or it's called something to do with, I think it's called Bigfoot Farms. Maybe it's their like logo has Bigfoot on it. But he has let's see, nature. He has a book now that he's made with Jim Gale of the food forest abundance. Uh, and it's called natural intelligence.
Wow. Wait, put that in the chat. And I'm just going to throw in the chat this next talk I'm doing March 22nd, where it's just me and Robert Edward Grant, hosted by this thing called the Arlington Institute, and it's called Transition Talks. And on their website in person, and I think they'll be streaming it. So that's the website is arlingtoninstitute.org. And then under Transition Talks, upcoming events is the link. And so I shared that there. I'm pretty excited that I've got, pretty positive things happening along those lines. And then the next thing would be May 3rd at Arcosanti. I'm supposed to be hosting and putting together a little event that will be focused around, the portal to the new earth, envisioning future environment, kind of, stuff that's in line with the Arcosanti and Paolo Solari's arcology, which is architecture and ecology combined together. But yeah, put the link in and tell me and repeat the title of that book again, because that sounded really interesting.
Let's see. It's something to do with natural intelligence. I'm looking for the link at the moment.
Okay.
But Corey Andrelot. It's yeah, Corey Edmund Andrelot and Jim Gale. And the name of the book is Natural Intelligence. And here's a link I can share of it. His stuff is so full of information. I think it was Corey that put together this. I think it's 1 GB, like a flash drive that's embedded in a card, like a credit card size thing. Then I bought it at the let's see, I was at the Exit and Build Land Summit, or it was the this event in Central Texas that I went to 2 years ago. Not the Exit and Build Land, the Greater Reset. That's what it's called. Now it's called the People's Reset. And I bought this card, and it has all this information. The card's called the Liberator, and Corey's thing is called the Liberator too. And it has all this information about how when the public school system came out, it was forced by the government. Nobody wanted to participate, and it was like a military uh, that had to come and like force people to start going to school, and like all this stuff about how slavery, is our terrible legacy throughout history, and it's not over. It's still done through subversive means, and like how we can organize ourselves to transcend that pattern. And that's the work that I've taken on myself to do in my life is to liberate and to transcend this slavery within myself, and whatever I can do to help others transcend it for
And
themselves.
that's really very much aligned with Sasha Stone's overarching focus. Even though he's developing these communities and stuff, he really does talk very much about that, the shifting out of the current, false matrix enslaving paradigm to that. And and I work with other people like my friend Z Earthstar Healer. That's what she's teaching in her Earthstar Academy. So, that's awesome that you're totally aligned with that. And I'm sorry, I'm also being distracted a little bit with texting on other pressing stuff, but I am listening to you intently much as I can without being distracted, and really
That's great.
appreciate this time to be dropping in with you on this type of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, you're very connected. I appreciate you sharing your resources and your amazing vision. And I just saw in the YouTube comments that all the people at my job out there at the warehouse where I used to work in Maui, Doran, who shared the video at the beginning, are listening. So thanks for tuning in, you guys out there, and lots of love to you. And um, I'm excited to be broadcasting this vision and all these connections of people that are working towards it. It's an organic coalescing of all the different pieces of the puzzle to create heaven on earth and paradise and the better world that our hearts know is possible. So everyone has their role to play, and this is just my one of things that I'm doing to hold this to hold the space and to invite people into more activation, because there's a lot of us out there, but there's a lot of us that are also still just operating from a space of uh, self-destructive habits and just like social programming that they are stuck in. And so every opportunity that we can take to kind of share the message of alternative possibility, of there being more to this experience than just you know red or blue, or go to your 9 to 5. You know that's and I was just talking to I'm trying out, like you were talking about, you're trying out different AI things. You might try Midjourney. I'm trying out this thing called Jump Speak to help me learn Russian more quickly. And
Oh.
I've tried Duolingo is a big one. I've tried Busuu recently, and I'm testing out different ones. And then I just found out about JumpSpeak a couple days ago, and so I'm trying that, and I'm also taking some in-person lessons of both Russian and Serbian languages. Or like my teacher said, I should just say the local language so I don't offend anybody by calling it Serbian because it's Montenegrin. They're speaking in Montenegro. Um, but there's no Russian teachers available for the like direct, like we're talking face to face on a Zoom call. JumpSpeak offers this for people on their platform. Well, actually, we're using Skype, but there's no Russian speakers no Russian teachers that are in that. So I'm actually taking Italian because Italian is the language that I've spent time studying, and so there's live online teachers available for Italian language. So I just had a lesson with somebody right before this call, and now I forgot why I brought it up because it took so long to explain it. I guess I guess it had to do with
Well, using the AI was part of it, but learning Russian is part of it. I don't know. Right?
yeah. It had to do with some aspect of our conversation, but now I forget now. I lost the train of thought because it's just yeah, it's so complicated, right? Like you lose the motivation to work with the virtual assistant, the virtual AI assistant, because I don't know what is it? It's like kind of it's too many moving parts, or it's just like too not organic, like it's uninteresting in some way, right? Or it's like just
Yeah.
overwhelming.
I know to communicate, and I'm mostly using it just on the computer and typing, and it types back. It gives you things to do, to journal or to do things. And I don't know. I really never dove into it even to engage with it very much at all.
Mm.
But then when
Mm.
I start to generate images, I first try to start to generate my 12 spiral city, and it couldn't do it at all. I'd give detailed descriptions, and it would come back and say it was doing it, but it was showing complete crap. So then finally I said, forget about that. Just make a three-dimensional organic city. And then after several prompts, I got to this point and it looks cool. And then I kept prompting it to try to evolve it more, and it just got worse and worse, even though it's strange to work with it. But I was working with Chat GPT for image generation. So I'm gonna, like I say, try to dive into and I keep that's a little bit more engaging. It's kind of fun. You give it prompts, it comes back with an image. Then you give it more prompts to fix it, and it makes it worse. And it says it's doing what you're doing, but it's not doing what you're doing. And then I'll write back like, "What are you, an idiot? I told you to do this, and you didn't do that at all. I can't believe how stupid you are." And then it writes back, "Oh, I'm so sorry that I can't." It's like hilarious if you communicate like you're talking to a person, and it writes back like kind of I don't know. It's
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know what to make of it.
I've had I mean I the only image creation that I've tried is with Canva, and that has like done pretty well for me.
Oh, Canva has an AI because I know Canva is basically a just a graphic design program that's just for
Yeah, it
basic,
has this thing called
like
Magic Media that you can just type in
yeah,
your
yeah,
prompt and then it gives
right,
you.
right, right. It's got AI linked into it. Yeah,
But I
that's
think,
it.
yeah, I think it's not like at the level to like create like what you have behind you, for example. Or maybe it is if you play with it. Um, And I've tried a couple different ones to try to do videos because I wanted to, I've had amazing adventures in my life, like traveling all around the world, and I wanted to like kind of tell the story and give a visual aid, and I didn't have somebody with me filming all the adventures. I really wish that I had, or if I had, found more opportunities to film myself, which is one of the things I really respect Alosha from the Bioveda Academy about is like he does these epic building projects and he like films everything, from different angles while he's doing it. And it's like, how can you manage to do so many different tasks all at once? Like, it's really incredible.
Right.
Um,
That's cool. Yeah, I definitely looking forward to diving into his. And like you said, does he have a YouTube presence also with his work? Is there a
yeah,
link
and
to
he's made
his
some really nice like
videos?
cultural. I think it's also called Bioveda, just like the website.
Yeah, I'm looking on the website I'm back on his website. I don't see a direct. Oh yeah, YouTube vlog. Got it. It's right there. Very easy at the very bottom. It's the lowest, the last thing you get to. So yeah. And so speaking of which, I was trying to get more traction with my YouTube. And of course, putting in links, putting in hashtags and links and things into your YouTube video to then come up in more searches or things like that. And I was
Mm,
just thinking, like, we're having this discussion, but once that YouTube is uh, on your YouTube channel, you can go back and you could add descriptions. You could put in the links into the description of all the things that we've put into the chat, and then more than that, put in the hashtags or ways to get it out there so more people will find your video and click on it and get hopefully mostly just to get inspired. I mean, it's nice to get more people to follow you, but it's not just because of you stroking your ego that people are doing it. It's because we want people to learn about these websites, learn about all this information, and implement it
yeah.
ultimately. So,
Yeah, yeah. Everything is us is like growing and building habits, right? It's like growing in consciousness, like me developing the consciousness to actually like put in the right like hashtags or whatever it is, and you know, I it's like more than just knowing about it. It's actually like doing it, and it's the same is true. Like, I want to help people like level up, how they, for example, the self-talk that people have. That's I think that's kind of fundamental. Is like our personal identity. That's where I want to kind of like bring people's attention to like who is it that they think of themselves to be, and like how are they operating, like how do they relate to if they're communicating with people in institutions, like, or like a police officer pulls them over the side of the road, for example, or like I had this experience. I was driving down the coast in a rental car last week, or when I moved in here actually, so it was almost 2 weeks ago. And there were some police officers standing on the side of the road, and they were like pointing cars off to a side road. And it's like there was a passenger with me, and she was all surprised that I leaned out of the window and I like looked at the guy like, what's going on, like, and I don't speak the local language yet, but I just like gave him like, what is this? And he's like, oh, just go, like, go back on the road. And she was like all surprised that I like just my forthrightness with like questioning why he's directing us to pull over was enough for him to just usher us back onto the road, and so there's no more blockage in stopping the journey. And I think it's a people communicating. They create problems for themselves because of their concepts about who they are. All right, and they think like, oh, this is an authority. Like, I better just like do what he says and like kind of like just kowtow or whatever. Like, but it's remembering that like we aren't just pawns, right? We're stuck in a game where we're treated like pawns, but that's only possible because we allow it, right? Uh, it's we have to realize we're not the pawns, we're not the bishops or the castles or the kings or the queens on the board. We're the people that are moving the pieces, like on the chessboard in this social uh, clusterfuck, if I can say that word that we're living in. Um, so yeah, I think that goes a long way, just like leveling up the level of awareness, and then actually like having support to kind of implement those. And like it helps that you are saying, yeah, like put the right hashtags in so your videos reach more people, for example. And and then yeah, if I can be accountable to actually do that, then we'll get some more people on and we'll move forward. Yeah.
right. And yeah, and like I'm encouraging you to, with your, I know it's a small email list, but to make it more clear in the subject line, your Wednesday, time frame for people to jump into this roundtable that you're hosting. Because
Okay.
they're interesting emails, but the subject lines are very vague as far as what that we have this opportunity to meet like this. And so, I guess I can, try to help share or spread it too, because it'd be cool to get interesting people, to come and have discussions like this. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool that you're kind of dedicated to this and getting this, information out there by putting it on your YouTube and yeah, sharing all this.
Yay, thank you. Um, yeah, and then I'm also the thing is like I'm sharing like a little book. I got a little 13-page book that like helps people step into empowerment and like working to share that as well. Um, and I wanted to also speak about land as part of this discussion. Um, you know, yeah, I see that like you're bringing the land up on the buildings, right? In this image. Uh,
Right. The idea is that it's like the city grows like a living organism more than like, a a skyscraper of glass and steel. It actually looks more like, three-dimensional landscape and it's all living is the idea.
wow. Um, is it like, oh, I don't know. Well, I want to know what like the white stuff is made out of.
Yeah, actually, that's a good. And in my visions, first of all, it could be, obviously we have our conventional reinforced concrete, which has already been developed for a long time, that is a structural material. But we're also developing, and the idea is that there's new ceramics that are being devised that are lighter and stronger, and so that way, it could be that, or it could be that you grow trees and the trees become the structure of the entire building and it becomes
Uh,
completely organic or a combination of the two. You use enough structure material to support it that while the tree is growing makes it stronger and then the whole thing becomes a combination of man-made structural materials plus living organic trees that will grow and support the upper. So as it grows up taller, the lower parts become stronger over time because the trees are growing. Ideas like that. And that's kind of like the idea how I have with my 12 spiral city that the spirals grow over time. So the first level of the ramp doesn't have to be that strong to hold up the first level. But once the second level, the first level has to get stronger. And once you go to the third level, the first level has to get stronger and the second level has to get stronger. So that the structure doesn't have to be entirely strong enough to support the whole thing at first, but as it grows upwards over time, the lower levels have to then get reinforced or stronger, and that could be done in an organic way rather than entirely through man-made materials, is my thought. Um, and I didn't mention, of course, I put in and mentioned where I'm going to be speaking at these Regen World and Transition Talks, but most importantly, we need to mention if people want to access what I'm doing. And you mentioned you have your little book. Well, I've got my big 250-page book, Portal to the New Earth, and that's accessible through portaltothenewearth.com. And of course, I talk about all of these things on my YouTube channel, Portal to the New Earth. So there's my plug, which, I'm glad I got around to it before you even asked me, because you're always, conscious of that and say, hey, we're putting this out there and people should know what you're doing. So the plug for Portal to the New Earth.com and Portal to the New Earth YouTube and Portal to the New Earth book, which talks about, all these mostly, ultimately, the idea is, how we tune in and inhabit the earth in the most, I like to say, sacred, harmonious, and beautiful way. I think those are the three words I use over and over. There's the word regenerative or ecological, but I think those are secondary words because sacred, harmonious, and beautiful are the harmonious infers being regenerative and ecological. And it's a more simple word that means you're in harmony with all of life, all of nature. And the sacred and beautiful, I think, are the key words. Is this the most sacred and beautiful way to build something? Not is this the most economical or ecological way? Those can be secondary because we want beauty and sacredness to be primary in how we create our environment and live on the earth.
I love that. That's totally resonating with me. And like when you showed the Shambhala website, I was first drawn to the divine orchestra part of it because it's like it's fundamental that we live in a vibrational reality and you know us taking the time to attune and to communicate is going to make all the difference. And that's like, that's the reason that I'm hosting this space, right? I want for us to have this opportunity to coalesce, to share our viewpoints, which are all uniquely divine, uniquely sacred, the beings that we are. We've come to be over lifetimes, and uh, everyone's on a unique journey and has a unique gift to share, or it's a unique melody that weaves into the other melodies or the other soul songs of people, and creating harmony, and not just amongst us people, but also with the plants and the animals and the elemental beings which make up us. And it reminds me also, like we were talking about AI. I remember Matthias de Stefano had this, uh, you know, he has a very unique like way of expressing and unique perspectives. And he's talking about the original AI is not like what we're creating now with computers. He's saying actually the development of biological life. Um, Although you might consider that it's actually natural intelligence. But he was saying that's the original AI that was made by the elementals that were like existing um, in in the cosmos, as dust or whatever, and then they started to build this technology of our the rocky planets and the soil and the life that grows out of it, um, as a way to create unique embodied consciousness in in many different forms and many different viewpoints, to arrive at a greater level of complexity and self-awareness. And so it's like we were mirroring that in what we're doing with our digital technology. um, and it's something that has been done at a higher level, uh, that we're a product of. um,
Yeah, for sure. And like, you use the terms elementals, but what is the term for the five, you know, air, water, fire, uh, earth,
Earth and
and
ether.
ether, right?
Mhm.
Those is that considered the elementals? What's the word for those? I
The
can't.
elements, the five
Yeah,
elements.
yeah, the five elements, right? So they are the elementals. So those are the primordial essence of all of creation that brought all of creation into being, the interaction of the.
Oh no, he froze again. What is this such interesting thing you're saying? That's unfortunate. I hope you come back. Is it frozen for me or
I don't know
just?
where it dropped off. I know I froze there for a moment, so I
Ah,
stopped talking.
it was an unfortunate moment because that was very interesting what you were saying. Uh-oh, now you froze again. This is too high level of meta thinking for it to come through Zoom properly. I don't know. Uh, Too bad about that.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I'm back, right? There it is.
Now you're back.
And hopefully it'll stay back. And it's weird. I don't think it's my internet. I think it's my computer that I just overload with too many tabs and too much stuff, and then it just decides to freeze up. I don't
Oh,
know, but okay. So I was talking about the elements and how they're the primordial essence. Uh-oh, did I freeze? No, we're still going. So yeah, and actually I kind of end my book with a chapter on terraquaforming, which is, combining those two elements, earth and water, into how we create our environment. But ultimately, it's becoming conscious of all those elements: air, fire, earth, water, and ether or spirit, and that those are the essence of everything that we know and exist in. And like you even kind of inferred that those were the original artificial intelligences because they are not biological, they are the archetypal elements. And yeah, so tuning into that is kind of like something we can do to create our reality.
it's elementary, right?
My dear Watson.
So, so I just wanted to say, I'm gonna write it in the YouTube chat. It's portaltothenewearth.org, right?
No,
Or oh,
com.
it's
It's one word,
.com.
portaltonewearth.com. Yeah. And that, of course, then has links directly to the YouTube channel and the book and yeah, I don't have too
Nice.
many other links. It links back to my original portal website, which is Transportals, but that's okay. That's kind of like the predecessor to all this work.
Let's
So thanks for
create the
putting that
new
in.
Earth. Anyone that's viewing, like, if you want to go deeper into the portal, I encourage you to do so. Um, absolutely.
Thanks.
Thanks, Arlen, for jumping on with me and yeah, sharing your beauty, your goodness.
Yeah, thanks. Whenever I'm available on these Wednesdays, and of course we put the word out, we'll, get anyone who's seeing this, think about it. You can come in live and share your stuff with us. We'd love to have you. So thanks, Keegan. You're doing a great job with this. And of course, you've only been doing it just the last few weeks, right? It hasn't been that long. And I
Right.
suppose now that you've got a home base for a year, that you're kind of committed to this, so we can grow this over the course of this year. And I'm committed to helping you out with it. I've shown up a few times already, and yeah, it's a very cool thing that you're doing.
Yes, it totally is. I'm stoked to be doing it. And I have to mention Doran, who I shared a video at the beginning. He's commenting in the YouTube, and he and I actually met at Portal to the New Earth gathering of this sound healing focused gathering at Garth's Boulder Gardens that Harlan organized, and that was in 2017, I think, or
Yeah,
six.
right. And Garth has passed on, but he gave it to Robert Peterson, who's running it exactly in his spirit, and maybe even better. He's a little more organized and focused, but it's truly exactly the same thing. And the website is bouldergardensanctuary.org. So pretty magical place that we were able to host that. And like you said, you've met people directly there in person. I don't know if I'm going to ever do another event there, but I'm still connected with them. I am looking at rekindling Portal to the New Earth at Arcosanti, though, next fall. So that's in the works, not set, but fingers crossed it may come together. I'm really trying to get them to commit to it and lock it in so I could actually start producing it sooner than later and know that it's going to happen. Well, but we'll see.
Yeah. And these amazing designs like the one that Harlan has behind him, like they're uh the beginnings of them are already manifest. Like at Garth's Boulder Gardens, there's this thing called the Cosmic Castle, and it looks just like a granite boulder, right? But inside there's a room. That's a picture of Garth's Boulder Gardens with amazing.
There, like that was where we held the event. So then there are the boulders, amazing boulders.
Yeah. And so yes, these awesome designs that are conceptualizing, and also Arcosanti is another example. Like it's like this tangibly manifest, like a really interesting design, conducive to a culture of our harmony with nature.
I don't have Arcosanti, but I do have a drawing by Palasolari of an arcology concept. And that's what I saw this drawing from the 60s, and this is what got me inspired in his work. And so, yeah, Arcosanti is pretty interesting. I'll have to add one of those as a virtual background so I could be standing in Arcosanti and share the background.
Wow. Yeah, that's beautiful. And it's like a saucer too. There's actually a building that's shaped like that here in Montenegro. I see it from the highway. I'm like, what is that? Is that like a air traffic thing or was it radio or like I don't know. It's like up on a mountain, but it's kind of like it looks like a giant mushroom.
Right. Yeah, and his concept's very much like like the image I shared of of making a city that grows over time and is all ecologically integrated. So yeah, basically the my picture was a form of an arcology of what he's proposing. I'll go back to it because pretty proud of that. And who knows though? Like this is just a very conceptual, and the reality may end up being very much different. But that's the idea: is to be working with nature and having cities that grow three-dimensionally rather than sprawling two-dimensionally. That's what
Right.
Carlos proposed in his concept of arcology.
Well,
So
I was gonna
thank
say when you were describing it, like with even the possibility of it being made of trees partially, like that reminds me of the development of Mexico City, of how they built islands on the lake, or it was like a lake kind of
Yep.
swampland
And
environment.
also, people have been talking about, like Star talked about in Ireland, and someone else was talking about it, that we did have not times where we people were living in these huge trees, that they actually grew their villages, and the trees were huge, as big as redwood trees, and they're all were destroyed. Like when the story that Zeet said is that in Ireland 2,000 years ago, when the Romans came and invaded it and took it over, there were people living in harmony with nature in these immense forests and tree villages, and the Romans killed them all and burned down all of those forests. And there's no trace of it left because all the people were killed and all the forests were destroyed. So the only way to know about it is to go into the Akashic records and connect on those levels to see that that was there. So
Mm.
who knows if that's true or not? Discern for yourself. But I kind of got the vibe like, oh wow, like we see in the Star Wars movies where there or there's other movies of people living in these crazy tree villages. That was an actuality here on Earth that was completely suppressed by the
Mhm.
dominating, false matrix culture that that we're kind of in right now. And so, yeah,
Yeah, that
we
reminds me of the book The Mists of Avalon, this magical realm of Avalon where there was a priestesshood and they had their sacred temple and they were forming the foundation of a society that was aligned with nature. And and then yeah, there was the great the whole like the Roman Empire, like the Catholic Church, right, coming in to to bring people out of their harmony with nature, to present us a challenge to overcome.
Right. And now that we're overcoming it, people might think it's completely impossible or daunting, and it'll take hundreds, if not thousands of years to get back there. And I'd like to propose that no, it can be done like that. And just holding the belief and the vision of it, it can really happen very quickly. And that's what I would like to see, so. I think that's important to know that too, that once we've breaking these bounds of the false matrix that are keeping us suppressed, just like you told the story of the policeman telling you to pull over and no, you get to go. It's like we can just go. We don't have to be suppressed in this, and we are divine creator beings, and the possibilities are limitless of what we can make happen here on Earth. So with that, we've been on for a while. I think you do host it for an hour or over the hour, and I'm kind of feeling like a little overwhelmed, but we shared so much this time. So this was so cool, Keegan. And we'll look forward to joining in more and getting more people to join in on this stuff. And it's cool that this is up there on YouTube for people to see and get
Uh,
inspired. So we'll promote it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Harlan. You're awesome. You're a great light. I'm really honored to be with you. And thanks for everyone for tuning in and look forward to reconvening next week and a week after and welcome more people, doing some reach out and together we'll rapidly accelerate the Aquarian Renaissance and come back into
Thanks,
harmony.
Keegan.
All right,
Till
much love.
next